Greetings, I am Zerrich, and I really like open world farms. I go on YouTube and I just see so many people doing dungeon grinding and dungeon farming, and I feel like we need someone who can research and show up WoW zones and give some transmog information. The data gathered here is a combination of WoWhead gathered data and myself going in and farming to test just how good drops are. I started with Hillsbrad Foothills. I have no idea why I started here, but I feel like it was a great choice. I will start off with rares. There are some rares that are worth farming, while others, well, they just drop greens, I guess. Agara, Big Samras, Craw the Ravager, Cryptes, Perdix, Indigos, Nopex, Magrok the Mountain Lord, Misamis, Weevil, Cranky Benji, Jimmy the Bleeder, Persinak, Gavis Slipknot, and the Dark Prowler have no special loot on their tables, and they pretty much only drop greens. Well, Creepless never really dropped a darn thing for me. It's a spider, it's a giant tarantula. It always dropped absolutely nothing. Lady Zephyrus has a chance to drop a Naga scale, which is a slow-selling regent that sells for about 600G on average due to its low drop chance. This scale is only used in one recipe, so it can be an extremely slow seller. Trust me, it's not worth camping her for the scale. There are Naga and Deslas with a super low drop chance for the scale, so if you want to try and own that market, head on out there. Dustwing drops Ogron's Sash at a rate of 0.07 for 6k on North American realms and 5k on European realms. Logrosh has a chance to drop the Pacifier at 41% drop rate for 13,000 gold on North American realms and 16k on European realms. He can also drop the Boulder Pads at a rate of 31% for 1,000 gold on NA and 800 gold on EU. And his final drop are the Black Ogre Kickers at a drop rate of 26% for 4k on NA and 900 gold on European realms. Little Bjorn drops the Black Fang at a 0.07% for 6k on NA and 3k on EU. Robark is the rare with the highest chance to drop the recipe for the Elixir of Ogre's Strength at a percentage of 1.5% and sells for 1.2k on NA and 1,000 on European realms. Alitus can drop Jurgen's Bracers at a rate of 0.05% and it sells for 2k on NA and 1k on EU. Scowl drops two unique items, a feathered headdress with a 76% drop rate and sells for about 600 gold on both regions. But he also drops the Howling Blade, another unique item with a drop rate of 24% and usually goes for about 8k. Scargill can drop the formula for Enchant Gloves Fishing recipe at a drop chance of 0.6%. This collector's recipe sells for 870,000 gold on NA and 55,000 on European realms. He also has a chance of dropping the Prospector Axe at a rate of 0.1%, and it's worth 29,000 on NA and 26,000 on EU. He can also drop the Raxur Club at a rate of 0.1% for 4k on NA and 3k on EU, making him a high priority rare to slay if you visit the zone. And finally, Camera Stormpike in Dun Gorak is a rare that can only be slain by Horde. She has a 1% chance of dropping Humbert's chest piece that sells for 914,000 gold on North American realms and 149,000 on EU. Camera is another high priority rare, sadly only for Horde. She is friendly to Alliance. Mobs with favorable regions in the zone are the Forest Creepers, who have a 4% chance of dropping Spirestone, and the Arcane Remnants, who drop Elemental Air, Essence of Air, and Breaths of Wind. Are they wind elementals in disguise? I don't know. Okay, let's start off with the Crush Ridge Ogres. These can be found in the ruins of Alterac and the caves east of the ruins of Alterac. The Crush Ridge Brute has a chance of dropping the Sentry Cloak, a rate of 0.01%. It currently sells for a price of 2k on NA and 1k on EU. They also have a chance of dropping the Skeletal Club at a rate of 0.01% and sells for 3k on NA and 2k on EU. The Crush Ridge Enforcer can drop the Drakewing Bands at a rate of 0.07% and usually sells for 3k on NA and 1k on EU. The Enforcers also drop the Guardian Blade at a rate of 0.01%, and this blade usually sells for 11k on NA and 6k on EU. The Crush Ridge Wormhunger has a chance of dropping the Guardian Blade as well. The Crush Ridge Ogre has a chance of dropping the Iron Patch Blade at a rate of 0.01% for 25k on NA and 12k on EU. They also can drop the Spark Shell Mantle at a rate of 0.01% and the sales average of 3k NA and 1k EU. And finally, the Crush Ridge Mauler, the big money of the lot. They have a chance of dropping the Sickle Axe, a special drop only to them and only them. No one else has this drop. The drop rate is 0.03% and the sale average of 55,000 gold on North American realms and 284,000 gold on European realms. Okay, now let's go over what the Naga can drop. The Dagger Spine Naga are along the shores east of South Shore. If you run out of Naga on land, they are also in the water. It's not an easy farm. Bring your swimsuit and towel. The Dagger Spine Styron can drop the Darkweave Breaches at a rate of 0.01% or 5k on NA and 1k on EU. The Dagger Spine Shore Stalker has a chance of dropping the Starsight Tunic at a rate of 0.01% or 3k on NA and 2k on EU. It can also drop the big money item of these Naga, the Flesh Piercer, at a rate of 0.02% or 30k on NA and 150,000 gold on European realms. The Dagger Spine Screamers also have a chance of dropping the Flesh Piercer at the same rate. Alright, let's move on to the western shores of South Shore. This is where the Tornfin Murlocs hang out. Tornfin Coast Runner, the Oracles, and the Titan Hunters all have a chance of dropping the Formula Enchant Gloves Fishing at a rate of 0.01%, and it sells for 870,000 gold NA and 55,000 EU. Otherwise, they do not drop anything noteworthy, making this farm not feel good unless you actually get this big ticket collector's item. Dun Gorak is the dwarven structure in the mountain in the southeastern portion of the zone. All the dwarves perished due to some conflict with the Horde in the past, but carry heavy grudges towards Humbert as they still possess his items. Dun Gorak's spirit holds Humbert's helm at a 0.01% chance of dropping. It goes for 48,000 average on both regions. Humbert's pants, WoWhead says, drops at a rate of 0.01%, but I beg to differ. When I farmed there, I got 7 within 1 hour. They go for 365,000 on NA and 69,000 on EU. On the cliffs overlooking Torn Mill are SI7 Operatives. This is obviously a Horde-only farm, as these will be friendly to Alliance. The SI7 Operatives have a chance of dropping the Magician's Mantle at a rate of 0.01% for the low price of 2k on NA and 1k on EU. Maybe not the greatest farm. Check your auction house, see if it sells for better on your server. On the cliffs overlooking the Hillsbrad farm ruins are the Stormpike Engineers, which will also be neutral or friendly to Alliance players, so it's a Horde only. These engineers will drop several items of interest with a low drop rate of 0.01%. These items are the Archaic Defender for 90,000 gold on NA and 47,000 on EU. The Feet of the Lynx for 5k on NA and 3k on EU. The Firebane Cloak for 5k on NA and 1k on EU. The Gargoyle's Bite for 5k on NA and 3k on EU. The Guardian's Blade for 11k on NA and 6k on EU. The Pads of the Spider for 5k on NA and 3k on EU. The Redbeard Crest for 5k on NA and 2k on EU. The Searing Blade for 5k on NA and 4k on EU. The Starsight Tunic for 4k on NA and 2k on EU. These engineers will hyperspawn as a solo farm, so the best way to farm this place is as a monk with taunt statue. On the northwestern side of Hillsbrad is the Dalaran Crater. Here, Horde can murder the Dalaran summoners and workers with 0 consequences. Dalaran summoners drop the summoner's wand at a rate of 0.03%. These wands are going for 24k on NA and 60,000 on EU. While the Dalaran workers drop the copper cloth gloves at a rate of 0.01%, they are worth 615,000 gold on NA and 416,000 on EU on average. When I farmed here on stream, I got 2 of each within 1 hour of farming. WoWhead's percentages are off. The Hillsbrad farms, both Horde and Alliance can farm this particular spot, or the Risen Farmers, or the Pitchfork. However, if Horde completed the quests in this area, they will be phased to a dead version and unable to farm this location. The Risen Farmers here have a chance of dropping the Pitchfork. It's a great weapon that I do not trust the drop rate WoWhead gives when I farmed here for them on stream. I got 6 within an hour of farming. Currently has no sale data on WoWhead, but is selling for about 219k on my realm. So everyone, please check your realms for the price data on this item. In the northeastern part of Hillsbrad Foothills lies Stormpike, a ruined town occupied by the Syndicate. The ones you are after in particular are the Syndicate Spies. They are the ones sitting in stealth, even at max level, are kind of a pain to farm. These sneaky fellows drop the pattern of Black Silk Pack at a rate of 0.03% for 247,000 gold on NA and 440,000 on EU. I have good news on this. The WoWhead comments were confused about if this is a specific drop for tailors or not. I actually farmed this place a little bit on my 29 rogue and got this drop after 20 minutes. And my rogue is mining engineering. So rejoice, you do not need a tailor to get this pattern. Although this rare pattern is mostly for collectors, another big drop from these spies is the cloaked hood at a rate of 0.02%, going for 200,000 on NA and 149,000 on EU. Okay, the next place we'll visit is the mountains west of the ruins of Alterac, which are covered in mountain Yeti. These have a severely low chance of dropping anything of value, but even though they do drop it, they drop the Ranger Bow at a rate of 0.03% for 35,000 on NA, 10k on EU. The Twisted Chanter's Staff at a rate of 0.01%, and they are going for 3k on NA and 1.5k on EU on average. I would not recommend farming these at all. Smack dab right in the center of the zone is the famous Cave Yeti, cave. We'll also have ferocious Yetis in there too. These drop a variety of blues such as the Black Velvet Robe at a rate of 0.01% for 36,000 NA and 12k EU. The Drakewing Bands at 0.07% for 2k NA and 1k EU. The Mage Fist Gloves at 0.01% for 26k NA, 9k EU. The Gargoyle's Bite at a 0.01% for 5.5k NA and 3k EU. Thorbius Gauntlets at 0.01% for 2.5k NA and 1k EU. Finally, the last mob farm here are the Mudsnout Gnolls in the southeastern part of the zone. It's the farmland west of Garok. These Gnolls drop a very wide variety of blues, and they're often farmed for the Black Tabby Cast, as there always has to be one alive since they are quest mobs. Easily a good solo farm spot. The Mudsnout Gnoll drops the Deepwood Bracers at 0.01% for 26k on NA and 10k EU. These bracers are a specific drop only to them. When I farmed here, I got 5 within an hour's worth of farming time. Okay, now for the blue drops. The Diamond Hammer at a rate of 0.03% for 2k NA and 1k EU. The Wing of the Whelpling at 0.03% for 2k NA and 2k EU. The Iron Patch Blade at 0.01% for 25k NA and 12k EU. Lil Timmy's Pea Shooter at 0.01% for 4k NA and 2k EU. The Rexer Club at 0.01% at 4k NA, 3k EU. The silver linked foot guards at 0.01% for 3k NA, 2k EU, and a sky collar at 0.01% for 4k NA and 2k EU. The Mudstout Shamans drop these blues. Kill Maim at 0.05% for 7k NA and 3k EU. The Night Watch Short Sword at 0.05% for 42k NA and 17k EU. The Stormbringer Belt at 0.02% for 28k NA and 13k EU. The Dense Triangle Mace at a rate of 0.01% for 2k NA and 2k EU. And the Starsight Tunic at 0.01% for 4k NA and 2k EU. There are 3 merchants in this zone with limited sales of interest. Transmogs, of course. First, the Horde-only weaponsmith. He sells the broad-bladed knife for 2 gold, 83 silver, and 73 copper. And it goes for 700 gold NA, 1200 gold EU. Merciless Axe for 6 silver, 35 copper. It goes for 10k NA and 7k EU. Marauder Axe for 3 silver, 93 copper. It goes for 3k NA, 12k EU. The Callous Axe for 4 silver, 51 copper. It goes for 2k NA and 2k EU. The Blurred Axe for 4 silver, 30 copper. It sells for 3k NA and 2k EU. The Executioner's Sword for 4 silver and 21 copper. It sells for 1k NA and 1k EU. The Blessed Claymore for 4 silver. It goes for 700g NA and 900g EU. Zixil is a patrolling goblin merchant who sells 6 transmog items and 4 recipes, all for mere silvers. He sells the Wizard's Hat for 1 silver, 87 copper, and it goes for 1500 gold NA and 1000 EU. The Nightwind Belt for 1 gold, 52 copper goes for 2500 gold NA and 1000 gold EU. The Dreamer's Belt for 41 silver, 54 copper that goes for 2,500 NA and 1000 EU. Fireproof Orb for 2 silver, 95 copper that goes for 3.2k NA and 6.4k EU. The Strength of Will for 2 silver, 96 copper that goes for 4k NA and 5k EU. The Orb of Power for 2 silver, 28 copper that goes for 3k NA and 5k EU. The recipes he sells do not sell for anything significant, but you may try to give them a go on the auction house if your auction house has them set on. And the final merchant, a woman who is a little out of place in the back of Durnhold Keep ruins. Chris Legis. She sells 7 items for Transmog, but there are usually only 4 up at one time. She sells the Guardsman Belt for 1 silver, 21 copper that goes for 19,000 gold NA and 7,000 gold EU. Wolf Bracers for 1 silver, 42 copper that goes for 1,200 gold NA and 800 gold EU. The Bear Bracers for 1 silver, 42 copper that goes for 300 gold NA and 200 gold EU. The Owl Bracers for 1 silver and 43 copper that goes for 1k NA and 900 gold EU. The Saber Leggings for 94 silver and 75 copper that goes for 5k NA and 1k EU. The Stocking Pants for 78 silver and 59 copper that goes for 6k NA and 2k EU. And finally, Mystic Sauron for 1 gold, 4 silver, and 98 copper that goes for 7k NA and 2k EU. I bet you thought we were done. I have 3 honorable mentions. The first honorable mention is sort of a level scaling testing I did myself on the ruins of South Shore to get the disgusting oozling to drop. I will have a link in the description for that. And the second honorable mention is a transmog. The Steel Scale Crushfish is a one-handed mace that is a fish. You could officially use this as a transmog since 8.2, which was mid-BFA. Some special things of note. If you catch this fish, you get an achievement called One That Didn't Get Away. This fish can be fished up not only in Hillsbrad, but in Ashenvale, Darkmoon Isle, Northern STV, and the Wetlands. You can only fish this up if you are a prop paladin, fury warrior, a Prot Warrior, or a Frost Death Knight. Why? I don't know. It has to do with some weird personal loot rules from Blizzard. And the third honorable mention, a zone-wide pet drop. The add-on Rarity says this is a 1 in 10,000 chance for it to drop. The Black Tabby Cat. It currently sells for 220,000 gold on NA and 50,000 gold on EU on average. Here is a super special disclaimer for everyone. This video mostly covered what is called Transmog, and if you are new to Transmog Sales, you should know that selling of Transmog is unbelievably slow. So slow that many have given up on selling it and either render it, disenchant it, or sell it at a very disrespectful price. If you want to undercut competition at all ever, only do it by 1 silver. If the one looking for the transmog or the collector's item really wants the item, they will buy it for the big price. Do not disrespect the time that you or others have spent on farming for these items by undercutting massively. Sure, it may sell faster, but it will most likely sell to a guy who will buy it and repost it for its actual price, and they will make the sale you could have gotten if you had just been a little bit more patient. So yes, these are transmogs. They sell at big prices, but they take a long time to sell. Thank you to the people who made it this far into the video. As a bonus, you get this, the Darkwood Fishing Pole. It's worth anywhere as low as 100k to about 3 million gold on some servers. It's an ultra rare fishing pole that collectors desire. The only place to fish this up in Hillsbrad is the lake just south of Torrin Mill. This is an ultra rare. It will take a long time fishing to obtain. Do not attempt unless you are committed. Okay, that should be the entire zone of Hillsbrad covered for high value transmogs. Please like the video if you would like to see more of these zone-wide transmog videos. And if you want to be alerted when my videos go live, please consider subscribing to my channel. Zerrich out.